Hello to all our magical listeners. We are Marie and Kate. Together, we love to chat about mindful magic. Mindful magic is intentionally, mindfully traveling through each day, each task, every little mundane thing you need to do with a magical mindset. Let's get magical and start this episode.
Welcome back to Mindful Magic. I'm Kate.
And I'm Marie. And today we're doing something a little different, a tribute, a spell, a celebration of shadow, sound, and the soul of a legend.
Ozzy
Ozzy
Osbourne
Osbourne
and
and
Black
Black
Sabbath.
Sabbath.
Yay! I'm so excited.
Me too.
I already have chills.
Oh.
So let's be honest. Ozzy is not your typical spiritual icon. He bit the head off of a bat, he wore eyeliner and screamed into the void. But maybe that's exactly why we need to talk about him.
He channeled the collective shadow, what Jung would call the disowned self. Ozzy gave voice to the parts of us we're told to hide, the rage, the weirdness, the madness, the chaos. And he turned it into music, into medicine. Let's chat about this iconic band for a minute. Black Sabbath is often called the first true heavy metal band. Their 1970 debut album, Black Sabbath, marked a stark departure from the psychedelia and the blues based rock of the era. With down-tuned guitars, dark lyrical themes, and a sense of foreboding, they created the blueprint for what would become metal. You had Tony Iommi's guitar tone, especially after his industrial accident that led him to downtuning his guitar to ease playing, became iconic and deeply influential. Oh my God, it's so good. The title track, Black Sabbath, with its tritone, also gave the devil's, oh, it's also called the devil's interval, was unlike anything heard before, like eerie, slow, and unsettling. I can hear it in my head right now, and it's just so different. Oh, it's so cool.
So, while most 60s bands focused on love and peace, Sabbath explored themes like war in War Pigs, addiction, Hand of Doom, mental illness, Paranoid, and the occult, Black Sabbath, environmental destruction, and Children of the Grave.
Oh, although no one can deny Mama, I'm Coming Home is his ultimate love song to his darling wife and forever rock, Sharon.
Marie, did you watch that video of him singing that at his last concert?
Oh, I've got chills right now.
Me too. That was everyone knew.
Mhm.
It's like everyone that was there just knew. It was powerful.
Yeah.
They pushed rock music into deeper psychological and social territory, influencing countless bands in metal, goth, punk, and even grunge.
Their influence extends far beyond traditional metal. You got doom metal drew directly from Sabbath's low, heavy riffs, like stoner rock borrowed their fuzzy guitar tone and mystical vibes. The sludge and grudge owe much of their raw heaviness to outsider themes. Thrash and speed metal were inspired by Sabbath but accelerated the tempo. In a word about heavy metal music, I'm going to just interject here. I grew up in a pretty rough household. I know a lot of us did kind of our era. Hopefully, there's a lot of that it isn't happening now. Um, and it wasn't my dad, it was my mom's house, my mom, and things got dark sometimes, but I wanna be really clear about something. Even when I was a teenager blasting Black Sabbath in my room, it never made me want to turn to the so-called dark side. Not once. That and every other metal music didn't pull me down. It helped me be strong. And I don't understand people who blame the music. I know a lot of parents probably back then blame the music. For me, Sabbath and others were the soundtrack to resilience, not rebellion and depression. So that's just a little note there. Bands like Metallica, Slayer, Nirvana, Soundgarden, and many more cite Sabbath as a core influence. Ozzy's haunting, almost chant like vocals became part of the Sabbath signature and inspired a generation of metal frontmen. His voice wasn't about technical precision, it was about atmosphere and presence. That sense of eerie detachment shaped the vibe of metal chords and vocals going forward.
I have to add to that, Marie.
Yeah.
I'm a metalhead. That's I like 99% of the music I listen to is heavy metal, and I 100% agree with you. I believe I like metal is so inspiring and empowering, and I've heard even studies say that heavy metal has a negative effect on your body, and I'm going to just call bullshit on that because
Yeah.
I feel so empowered. And my son loves heavy metal as well, and it's not that way. I believe it's just your perception and what you the fear behind it. My grandparents, I mean, never allowed anything like that in the house. But I had to add that before we
Yeah.
keep going because I agree with you.
No,
Um,
you're right. You're right.
so Sabbath didn't just play music; they crafted an atmosphere. They were among the first to treat rock as theater. So album covers and song titles evoked horror movies and grim fairy tales. Their stage presence leaned into mystery and menace. This paved the way for theatrical bands like Alice Cooper, Iron Maiden, and Ghost. So we forget that magic that is it's not always light and lavender. Sometimes it's black leather and guitar riffs. Sometimes it's the person who scares you the most that's doing the deepest healing work for the collective.
When you said guitar riffs, I just wanted to go,
Yeah, no, me too. Cue guitar riff.
So let's talk about the power of sound. The Black Sabbath that was there before MTV. All you could do was hear it, and if you were lucky enough, if you heard it on the radio, that's one thing. You had to use your imagination. If you were lucky enough to own an album, you at least had the album cover art. So, let's talk about the power of sound. Music isn't just entertainment, it's frequency, it's vibration, it's spell work. And Ozzy, he was a master spellcaster.
Yes. His voice, half wail, half battle cry, was pure throat chakra activation. It shattered silence. Ozzy's haunting, almost chant like vocals became part of the Sabbath signature and inspired a generation of metal frontmen. His voice wasn't about technical precision, it was about atmosphere and presence. That sense of eerie detachment shaped the vibe of metal vocals going forward. And for so many misfits, outcasts, and survivors, that sound said, "You are not alone." Whew, I got
That's
chills.
right. That's right. And we had to reiterate that his voice was about atmosphere and presence. And Kate, how many of us healed through music before we even knew what healing was?
Oh, I know. Yes, for sure. Agree with you. The first, like Lincoln Park, like that too. Like that has that effect on me. I
Oh
feel
my
like
god.
that is healing as well.
We could do episodes on Lincoln Park. Oh my god, I miss
I
Chester.
know.
Rest in eternal
My heart
peace,
aches
Chester. I
still. It's like the same pain I felt when Robin Williams passed away.
Oh,
You know,
I have to, since you mentioned Robin Williams, he went to the same high school as my dad in Marin County. And, he lived there. So, that's where I'm from originally. And you would just see him and like other like celebrities around, like James Hetfield, like I saw, from Metallica, because they're just Bay Area people. But I saw Robin Williams and his wife in Pier 1 Imports, and he was just the kindest soul. He was just a normal guy. He didn't put on airs, he didn't act like this huge celebrity. So, rest in eternal peace, our sweet Robin.
yes, yes. He has the same energy as Princess Diana. I don't know, like the same vibes I get. That beautiful that earth angel energy. And I
I
do believe that Ozzy is as well. Like the
Yeah,
impact that he had on the world.
yeah,
So
yeah.
raise your hand if Crazy Train got you through your teenage rage, or if Dreamer cracked your heart wide open.
Raising my hand. But for For me, one of my favorite songs, and still is, I just blast it, is War Pigs. I love that song. And it's because so much of the world hasn't changed. Like, sorry, we don't get into politics here, but that's my anthem for politics. And so also the song Black Sabbath, that song always reminded me that we have to shed light on our darkest selves to be able to evolve.
Yes.
So now let's get into the witchy side of things, the pentagrams, the dark robes, the bats, and all the things that scared the church moms and the pearl clutchers and the PTA boards. And before we do that, actually, let me make a note about the the bat, the Ozzy biting the head off a bat. You know, that was such a thing, back then, and I remember seeing images of blood coming out of his mouth and stuff. So, if I'm getting my story right, it really did happen, but it wasn't planned. I think a fan had thrown the bat up on stage, and Ozzy didn't realize what it was, and he just grabbed it, and he kinda had to follow through with it. Now, you guys in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's the actual story. Like, it wasn't planned, it was sorta spontaneous, and then he just had to roll with it.
I remember hearing the same. Yeah. But we
Yeah.
see it, don't we? Ozzy was embodying the archetype of the dark wizard, not to scare, but to reclaim power from fear itself. In embracing darkness, he showed us how to own our shadows and turn them into strength.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Ozzy wasn't just the Prince of Darkness. He was a man who turned pain into art. And that, honestly, is one of the most magical acts there is. For those of us who were already questioning traditional faiths, his music became a safe place, a kind of family for angst ridden teens searching for meaning. Instead of preaching answers, Ozzy and Black Sabbath's raw honesty gave us permission to feel, to doubt, and to scream into the void. Love that. Had to put that in there. He wore his scars like armor, and in doing so, helped so many of us feel less alone on our own.
And for those of us walking a magical path, that's the reminder. Your darkness is not your downfall, it is your doorway. Like, I feel like I'm going to repeat that. Your
Mhm.
darkness isn't your downfall, it is your doorway. So,
Oh,
yeah,
it's so true. It's so
we're,
true,
it
folks.
is. Yeah. And now we're going to keep going deep. We're going to go deeper. So, let's talk about shadow work and legacy.
Shadow work, folks. If you know, you know.
Hmm.
But if you don't, we'll tell you. Shadow work. Ozzy gave people permission to be fully themselves, even the messy, loud, unfiltered parts. That's shadow work in action, really.
Yeah. So, we want to share a few lyrics as oracle messages. We are so excited for this. So, we're going to treat this like a pull from the deck.
I love this, Kate. And this, this is kind of a new idea for us. So I'm loving this. So let's start with this. Maybe it's not too late to learn how to love and forget how to hey. That's from Crazy Train. Maybe it's not too late to learn to how to love and forget how to hate. Maybe it's not too late. No matter how far you've drifted, you can still choose love. You can unlearn the hardness. You can soften without breaking. It's not too late. It never was. Oh my goodness. I think I lost Kate. Let me see. Here she is.
Sorry about that.
That's
I'm
okay.
okay.
So
I'm not sure
we're
what happened.
yeah, but that's okay. I just went over the Crazy Train. Maybe it's not too late to learn how to love and forget how to hate.
Okay, so we're on to the next one. So the next one, standing at the crossroads. So this is Ozzy's lyric from No More Tears. Standing at the crossroads, I'm looking for a sign. The crossroads isn't just a place, it's a spiritual threshold, a moment when the old no longer fits and the new hasn't fully revealed itself. You're not lost, you are awakening. If you've gone numb, it's because your soul is protecting something tender. But the sign you're waiting for, it's already within you. This is the moment to breathe, to feel, and to choose. You don't have to go back. You are not alone. The crossroads is where transformation begins. And Ozzy knew that, and so do you.
Oh, man. I
That was
felt
my
like I needed
message.
to Yeah. I feel like I needed to take a nice cleansing deep breath. That was
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, just like any writers, whether they're songwriters, if they're, novelists, they're authors, they're screenwriters, poets, anything in that ilk, Kate and I both believe that when you're in that creative space, you kind of get these downloads from spirit. Somehow you're inspired, you get it just flows through you. And, Ozzy was no different. He had to have been channeling something beautiful to get some of these lyrics because they are deep. So the next one, the soul of truth, the eyes of lies. That's from Symptom of the Universe. The soul of truth, the eyes of lies. Not everything that looks honest is pure, and not everything dark is false. That is This is a call to trust your inner knowing, not the mask that the world wears. It's about trust. Look deeper, see with your soul, not just your eyes. So, when you need to look deeper, there's always that feeling of, do I trust my intuition? Do I trust what I see? And it's always such a great idea to you know take a deep breath, um,
I'm
take a
here.
nice deep breath and ground yourself, center yourself, and stay grounded, and you're gonna find that your intuition will not do you wrong. You will get guided, and you just have to trust it. So that was The Soul of Truth, The Eyes of Lies, Kate.
Okay. I had to place protection around our recording. I don't know what was going on with the technical difficulties, but so we're going to move on to the next lyric. I don't want to change the world. I don't want the world to change me. So this is from Changes 1972. I don't want to change the world. I don't want the world to change me. This is your reminder. It's okay to hold your center when everything shifts. You don't have to become what you're not just to survive what's around you. Stay soft, stay true. And I feel like when we're saying stay soft, I mean keep your heart open and stay
Mm,
true and let the world spin. You stay rooted.
yeah, yeah. I love that, and I loved the rendition of that when Ozzy sang with his beautiful daughter, Kelly. That was just it was gorgeous. So, Black Sabbath's spiritual lyrics often blend fear, hope, mysticism, and existential questioning, inviting listeners to confront the shadows within them and around them.
So close your eyes, breathe in, and ask yourself, what part of me have I been hiding that wants to sing?
Ooh, excellent query, Kate. Are there parts of yourself you're longing to express? If you're hearing this right now, it's not a coincidence, right, Kate?
Right. You're exactly where you're supposed to be, and this is a sign for you to express your innermost creative selves.
I love that. You're
Yeah.
exactly where you need to be if you're hearing this. So, we're gonna just set the stage for a little ritual right here. So, light a candle, play a song that once reached into your soul, pulled you from the depths, and still brings those feelings flooding back in an instant. We all have those songs, whether they're good, bad, or ugly, from our past, because music has affected all of us in one way or another. As the music plays, honor the space to release any pain you've been carrying, especially going back to those moments that is associated with that song. Know that healing is possible and that you deserve peace. On a piece of paper, write down the name of the artist who helped get you through that tough time, and then say a heartfelt thank you to them. That's a
You can
great way to
place the
honor them.
Yeah, that is. So you can place the paper beneath your candle's flame, let it burn down slowly as the music carries you. So this is more than a ritual. This is a tribute. It's a spell of release, gratitude, and transformation.
Yes.
Yes. So Ozzy taught us that you don't have to be polished to be powerful. You don't have to be clean to be clear. And sometimes the weirdness saves. I love that.
Hmm.
So, and now, with deepest respect and love, we send peace across the veil to the voice that roared through darkness and the soul that showed us power can rise from pain and magic can wear black.
And here's our message to you in lasting honor of our beloved Ozzy. Embrace your true voice, loud, raw, and unapologetically strange. Be authentically you, even when the world misunderstands, especially when the world misunderstands.
Yes. And may comfort wrap the Osborne family like black velvet. May healing reach every heart that ever found refuge in his music. And may the spirit of Ozzy, wild, wise, and wonderfully weird, echo forever in the spaces between sound and silence.
Remember, magic isn't bound by tradition or robes. It lives in the fearless heart, in the shadow and the light. Sometimes it shows up as black eyeliner. I love this. Sometimes it shows up as black eyeliner and a cross necklace, a sacred symbol of transformation, protection, and rebellion.
Break the stigma, witches. Own your power. Celebrate your magic and rewrite the story. Fearless, fierce, and free.
Rest easy, our Ozzy, Prince of Darkness.
We feel you still.
Mhm.
Ooh, I want to cry. um, Thank you for joining us in this mindful moment of rebellion, reflection, and rock and roll. We love you, we see you, and in the words of Ozzy himself, the road to nowhere leads to me. See you next week, witches. Until then, stay magic, stay weird, and stay loud.
But most of all, stay mindfully magical.
Magical.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye. Okay, I stopped. Let's just upload.